So this poem is titled Boogeyman. Heavy like brimstone, the weight of depression settled on my shoulders at a young age. Its brand seared not on my slightly melanin-soaked skin, but the young mind that still feared what lived in the closet. At night, the familiar fingertips trail over my smooth skin, caressing, tempting, taming me, claiming me gently. My father tells me that the world has another monster in store for me. Different from the one that haunts minds instead of homes, this boogeyman is for the drops of blackness in my blood, called racism. I learn as I grow up the ways that this boogeyman doesn't hide in the dark, it thrives in the bright whiteness of light skin. I learn as I grow up the way the other monster named depression seems to go unnoticed to most people, even the other people haunted by both boogeymen. I know how these beasts are both strong enough to break people and families apart, how they can be passed down like a family heirloom. Sometimes I think about how many families have no heirlooms because the boogeyman racism takes them, and how many heirlooms it broken in an attempt to break people's wills. Sometimes I look around at skin soaked in darkness that don't know they have two boogeymen. Sometimes I feel my shame bear down on me, a different pressure than the one from depression holding me down. I ask myself how I can allow myself to crumble beneath the weight of this boogeyman when my father's half of my lineage stood strong under the centuries of struggle for our community, or their community, I ask myself. I still don't know if I should be allowed to shake from the anger of a community that I might not be black enough, as many people have implied, as if blackness is for them to ascribe to me. I ask myself how it's fair that I receive aid for the invisible scars carved into the inside of my skull when compared to the mangled skin of my black ancestors and the darker-skinned boys that bled out from bullet holes in said skin. How can I fear that the fire driving me forward is burning my body away for fuel because I've lost my appetite again, when my forefathers dealt with burning crosses and being no more valuable to white people than the coal they were forced to dig for them because their skin tone matched what they mined? How can I struggle when holding on to hope when so many generations of my predecessors kept hope and happiness close to them because it couldn't be taken as easily as either their children or their freedom? How can I question my ability to keep beating back the boogeyman when the backs of my black brethren are still getting beaten, and I am descended from black people whose backs ached from picking the same cotton Betty Ross made her flag from to symbolize the country that was ruled by the same boogeyman oppressing them? I ask myself how I can give in to depression when none of the people who came before me did. I ask myself whether I am allowed to feel black suffering if half of my family lineage have a privilege passed down like a family heirloom that I didn't receive. I ask myself if I can claim racism as my boogeyman, even though it has long since chosen me. As I've grown up, I've come to the conclusion to some of these questions, but I still struggle. I don't know the answers to all of these. I don't know if an ancestor of mine would think me weak for my battle with the boogeyman depression, like some of the people bonded by my black kinship do, and I don't know if I am entitled to claim their pain as mine too. As much as I struggle with all of these things, I don't know how to answer yet. Even though I am the only one who can, I do know that depression pushes hard and punches harder, and racism is our country's heirloom that so many want to keep because they think the past prosperity was for everyone. I know that both boogeymen have too much blood on their hands. As much as depression knocks the wind out of those who are haunted by it, and racism leaves me and so many others breathless, both boogeymen choke their victims until they beg, "Please, I can't breathe."